You're listening to the Dude Wut podcast, where we review bad media and have a laugh while enjoying beer with your host, Harry and Tomo. Enjoy the show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dude Wut podcast. My name's Harry Dowling, and this time I'm joined with my good friend, Mr Callum Hamby. How the hell are you doing, bro?
Really well, yeah. Happy to be on again, yeah.
Good, man. Good. So, unfortunately, Mr. Tomo couldn't be with us again today. Real shame, because this is actually the last episode of Dude Wut podcast for the year. And we're hoping it's going to be quite a big episode. And, you know, we've been planning it for a little while, so yeah, it's a bit of a shame he can't make it, but, you know, personal things have come up, so, you know, fair enough. So this episode, as the sort of the big finale, we've decided that this episode is just going to be about basically like looking back on 2021 and like some of our favorite things that's happened, some of the biggest things that's happened, like memorable things, and maybe a little look towards the future of 2022 as well. But before we get into any of that, Hamby, how you been, bro? How's your week been? What you been up to?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Had a pretty good week. Last week we went to London and we did this Van Gogh immersive experience.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, we did that on last week, middle of the week.
Yeah. It
was really good fun. Yeah, it was a bit pricey for what it was.
So you say like virtual experience. How is it virtual?
Virtual's probably the wrong word. Immersive. So it's like you go in. You basically like it goes through like chronological order, like Van Gogh's life, and like basically like like the stuff behind all of his like major or like, you know, most famous like types of paintings and stuff. And they had like quite a few bits where like they had his paintings, but like in like 3D, like little exhibits. So like the bedroom painting is probably one of his most famous ones.
I mean, I probably, if I saw it, yeah. But
yeah, you probably know it if you saw it. But they have like that, but like set up to like how it might look and stuff. But they did that, and then cool. Then the main bit of the exhibit is the immersive experience, and it's basically this massive like huge room, and you basically sit on these like beach like lounges, and basically all of his paintings are like projected around you with like music and stuff, cool. And they're like moving
and stuff, are they?
Yeah. So like a lot of his like Starry Night, very famous paintings, or Starry Night over the Rhone, and it's like all the skies like actually like moving and stuff like that. And cool. They did the really cool thing I liked was they did a bit where it was on because he did lots of paintings when he lived in the south of France of like rural like farm workers. And they had this one. I've seen
a lot of like sunflower fields and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah, so he did somewhere, an immersive experience. They had those, but they had them so like the carts were moving, and you could hear like the birds chirping and stuff in the background. And
it sounds really good, man.
It was really cool, Yeah, really cool.
I've seen other things like that where it's like, you go in a room and like through the use of like projectors, they're sort of moving things around up the walls and things. Yeah, that looks really cool, man.
It's cool. It's a bit pricey for what it is, but it was good.
How pricey?
It's 30 quid a ticket. I thought that was a lot.
So how long is it? Yeah, it is. But how long is it there for?
Well,
that's the thing. Is it like a touring exhibition?
I think it's only temporary. I think it's only on for like maybe 3 months or something. I think.
Yeah, it's worth it then. It's worth it. If it's something that's there all year round or something, yeah. But no, that sounds good, man.
Yeah, it was enjoyable. And we did all on the same day as well. We made the most of it, and we did all like the we did a couple of museums as well. Went to the Science Museum and then the British Museum as well. I don't know if it's still there, but last time I went to London, we went to like the James Bond Museum, and I don't know if it was like just a pop-up thing and it's now moved on or something, but it was really good, man. Like loads of the cars, loads of the vehicles, weapons, loads of stuff, just like everything Bond. Really, really cool. Yeah.
So I don't know if that was like, I've got a feeling it's not there all year round, you know.
I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh, so we wanted to do the Science Museum because they had a exhibit that my girlfriend wanted to go to a Greek.
Yeah.
It was all stuff on science in ancient Greece, basically. And then we went to the British Museum.
That sounds really cool.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then we went to the British Museum, which, like, I mean, I could spend hours in the British Museum.
Yes,
it's completely up my street. So yeah, they had.
I tell you what,
one
one of the best museums I went to was on the Isle of Dogs, London. I can't think of what it was called, but it was in this old like dock yard building basically, and it was just like about 7 floors of just like the complete history of London, basically. It was really, really interesting.
Yeah.
Me and Fee had planned to go to about 5 different places that day, and when we looked at the time, because we were so into what we were looking at, we'd spent all day in this one museum. Because it was just that interesting. But yeah, I can't remember what that was called. I'll find out for you, because I think that's a permanent thing. I would recommend that. That sounds pretty good, man. Done much else?
Not really. No, not too much other than that. I met up with some friends on Friday night in London again.
Cool.
But apart from that, no.
So you say London,
weekend.
like, it's pretty close for you, isn't it? Doesn't take that long.
I can be in London in 20 minutes.
That's pretty decent. Like, does it? So when you moved to that area, obviously, because you're not from that area.
No.
When you moved to that area, did it make you like London a bit more, or like hate it a bit more? Or...
I still don't go to London that often, even though I can be on a fast train and be in. I can be in one of the big stations in 20 minutes. It's. I do like London, but I couldn't imagine living in London. Like, we don't live in London.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's nice that I can, if I, I do have friends who live in London, but I can get there quite easily. And to be fair, like, I know, like, if you're not from the southeast, you probably haven't been to a lot of bits of London that are actually quite nice. Like that, everyone's been to, like, Oxford Street and Covent Garden and things like that. Which. The really touristy busy bits, but actually there's a fair bit to the city that's pretty chill. It's all very expensive, but
definitely. I mean, excuse me. I always hated London. My whole life hated London, and I think like maybe about 3 years ago or so, me and Fee went. We booked tickets to see Frankie Valli on his farewell tour. I'm doing air quotes because he just announced that he's playing in Birmingham next year. Farewell tour in London, and we were like, let's go early morning, we'll make a day out of it and we'll get a hotel and whatnot, and loved it, absolutely loved it. We just did exactly what we wanted to do, and had a great day, and then the gig was one of the best gigs I've ever been to in my life, so probably the best gig.
The thing that I love about London as well, like, it probably is the best city in the UK for food, like, for just going out to, I mean, you could pick literally any country in the world and you could probably get it in London, like somewhere, like I've been to, that's one of my favourite things about London, is just trying new restaurants and things.
I think if I lived as close as you I think my favourite thing about London would be being able to get to like just all the gigs, small gigs, big gigs, being able to just go out and see a band or something, which is one of the things that I love about Birmingham, basically. Like, I've moved, we'll get to it in a bit, but I've moved to, like, I'm basically the same. It's like maybe 20 minutes and I can be in Birmingham city centre. And Birmingham's like crummy and it's got a bad reputation.
I know, I like Birmingham.
But the live music scene is pretty good, and you've got some big... I can't even think of what it's called now. It changes its name so many times. You got some big like arenas, stadium, places where big bands can come to as well. And it's usually on the list of like, if a band's coming to the UK and they're only doing like 3 dates, 9 times out of 10, Birmingham will be one of those dates.
It's nice and central.
Yeah. But you spoke about food, man. So I got a bit of a food story. It's my birthday coming up. And yesterday, I went out for a bit of a meal with my dad and my dad's girlfriend, basically my stepmom, and my girlfriend. We all went out for a meal, and we went to a Moroccan Lebanese place in Birmingham called Al Badur's, and it was good, man.
Yeah,
it was really good. Yeah, like I've been dying to go to like a proper authentic sort of restaurant in a while. Something that's not. Well, we go to a lot of Indians, we go to a lot of Chinese, things like that. But yeah, like something that's different, authentic. It was delicious. It was so good.
Do you have tagine?
Yeah, man. Well, I didn't, but one of our table did. I had shawarma.
Oh, nice.
Mixed shawarma. We had like a massive like meze thing, breads stacked up. You know, like 3 different types of hummus, like all sorts of falafels, everything, man.
You're copying me because for my birthday I had the Turkish stuff that I sent you.
But it was weird because I hadn't planned it or anything. Dad was like, let's just get some lunch. Didn't realise we were going to like a slap up restaurant. You know, he was wearing a shirt and everything, and I was like in a Cypress Hill top. I was sort of like, oh damn. Excuse me. But yeah, so had an absolutely delicious meal and couldn't eat all of it. Like me and Dad had a large and a medium between us, and we, fought as hard as we could, but we were defeated. So I took the rest home, and I had it for dinner. I had it for lunch today at work, and it was still just as good. So yeah, that was delicious. That's my food story.
Nice.
But no, I've been a little under the weather. If you've listened to probably like the last couple of weeks, maybe like definitely the last Harry's Half Hour episode, which I powered through and then didn't listen to because I was like, it's going to be so bad. It's going to sound so bad. I actually listened through it and it was all right actually. But yeah, I've been a bit under the weather, like bit of a cough, bit of a sniffle, not COVID or anything. So yeah, if I cough a couple of times or sniff a little bit in this podcast, I do apologise. I'm trying. But yeah, so other than that, just working and hanging out. Been watching loads of trying to get back into watching like TV shows with Fiona. We had a bit of a gap where I played a lot of Xbox, she did a lot of uni work, and maybe we watched a film, but we didn't watch any TV. So trying to get into TV shows. So we found this show on Netflix called Timeless, and it's like cheesy action, but it's been cancelled. So I was sort of like, I don't have to commit to too much because I know it's going to end, at some point, which I quite like. I like it when you find a show that only lasts for a season or something. But yeah, Timeless, time hopping, good time.
I told you what me and my girlfriend been watching binging What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which like I think I spoke about it.
So you did, and I had a little look at it. I didn't realise that Matt Berry was in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a terrible impression. I'm usually better than that.
It's I'm a massive fan of the old like New Zealand movie with Jermaine Clemens.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's his name?
Taika
Waititi.
Yeah.
So I was like a bit, and we basically started watching the TV show years ago, and I think we watched a few episodes and we just didn't bother with it. And we came back to it recently, and we're on like season 3 now. There's 3 seasons, and we're on the last season. I think season 3 just came out.
So I've seen it. I went on my smart TV and it popped up, and I was like, oh yeah, and then I saw Matt Berry there, and I was
it's surprisingly pretty good actually. Like it and actually like there's some like cameos from the movie in it as well, which is quite nice. Yeah, because it's set in the same universe, I think. So it's like
One of my favourite things about the movie was like the ancient like Nosferatu vampire guy.
Yeah.
He was one of my favourite characters.
Oh, I love what's his name? The guy, because you've seen Flight the Conchords, because a lot of the actors are in it.
Yeah.
Who's the guy who plays Murray? He's a New Zealand comedian.
Oh yeah, I know who you mean. I can't think of his name.
He plays like the leader of the pack of werewolves, and it's like we're werewolves, not swearwolves. It's like,
I remember.
It's a funny.
I have to watch that again. I think it's a great film.
The TV show's good. I was pleasantly surprised by it. It's not as good as the movie. Okay,
maybe I'll check it out. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
What I might do is, because I'm not sure if I think Fee might have watched it. I might just suggest we watch the film and then watch the TV show after.
Yeah. I've always been a big fan of the film and Flight the Conchords as well, because a lot of it, similar, same actors and things in it.
Matt Berry's the voice of Absolute Radio that we listen to, and that we
He is,
quite,
yeah,
quite a lot.
He is. I hear him.
Absolute 80.
So I hear him every single day at work on the radio, and then I come home and watch like 2 or 3 episodes of What We Do in the Shadows, and
yeah, he's good. He is good. Yeah, man. Well, it sounds like we both had decent weeks.
Yeah.
That I do love a good sort of exhibition museum sort of thing. Anything that's like anything that's like live. So even if it's just, you know, projections, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I may have to check that out, because is it Amsterdam where the big Van Gogh museum is?
Yeah. So that's where the big Van Gogh museum. So the thing that I went to, they didn't have any original Van Gogh paintings. Which when you come in, when you walk in, you're like, what? But actually, like, you know, you don't. That's kind of not what you're there for. Like it's kind of like I liked it because I obviously like a lot of Van Gogh's paintings, obviously.
Yeah.
But actually, it was quite cool because they kind of like explained his life, and they were going like, oh, he painted these things when he was in his 20s, and then like all of his most of his famous stuff, or most famous stuff, was all like when he was. A lot of it was like when he was like in a mental asylum and stuff, like right towards the end of his life.
Really?
You know, like Starry Nights and things, and like, Starry Nights and Starry Night Over the Road and that sort of thing. And
see, I don't know much about his life at all, but I'm pretty sure there's a Willem Dafoe movie.
Yeah.
That's about his life. There's also a film it's really interesting actually. If you haven't seen it, I'll send you the trailer. It's about Van Gogh or Van Gogh or whatever, but every single frame is a Van Gogh style painting. So it obviously it's like almost stop motion with these paintings. It's incredible. It's really incredible. I'll have to send you the trailer for that after this, because that's worth a look.
Yeah, no, it was a really good exhibit, and like, you know, Van Gogh's really, really interesting. I mean, I am not an arty person. My girlfriend is. I'm not an arty person in the slightest, but I think I enjoyed it because actually, you know, when you can actually sort of understand, you look at a painting, but actually when you can actually understand why they painted it, or like the actual what they were going through at that time in their life when they painted it. Like Van Gogh, because he was, especially towards the end of his life, because he was so mentally ill. You know, I mean, he chopped his own ear off and shot himself. You know, you know, it just gives a bit of context to his paintings, and I really love that.
Yeah, man. That sounds good. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
So this is the big, the sort of the big finale of Dude Wut, as we said. I think we're doing excuse me. There's a live stream coming up Friday, I believe. There's also another episode of Harry's Half Hour coming out still, so there's still more to look forward to. In terms of Dude Wut, this is the big finale, and I don't have a beer, and I was sort of a little bit like, I could have just gone over the road and got one, but I can't really afford one. And Hamby said, you know what, man, like, I got this covered. So why don't we launch into everyone's favourite segment? It's What Are We Drinking? What are we drinking? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realise there was a yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I just thought I'd roll with it. Hamby, I'm giving you the keys, bro. I'm giving you the keys.
Okay,
Take me on a ride.
This is from my my German beer advent calendar.
Oh yes.
Hence why I've got it. So this is I'm going to hold it up to the camera so Harry can see it. But I know listeners can't see it. Okay. But it's called a Herrenbrau Zwickel Keller beer. So I don't just know this, I did do some research on this before I came on.
Okay, yeah.
So the Herrenbrau brewery is in Ingolstadt in Bavaria. It looks like it's a little bit just north of Munich.
Cool.
And Keller beer obviously means cellar beer, but the Zwickel bit, apologise if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I think that just means it's like unfiltered, so it's like an unfiltered lager. So yeah, I'll try it. I'll open it.
Crack it, bro.
Opening it and taking a swig. It's very, very nice. It's only I say only. It's 5%, but actually, but actually, a lot of the beers that I've been having from this advent calendar have been quite a lot more than that. So it's actually quite a normal lager. It's very, very nice, very, very refreshing. not too hoppy. Yeah, it's very, very nice. It's quite carbonated, but it is a lager. Yeah, it's very, very nice. Henbrow.
It looks good, man. It's a cool looking can. So for everyone listening, it's sort of like, it's almost got the colours of it's like a Carling, which is green and silver, or green and white, but it's got like a checkered look going on.
Yeah, honestly,
it looks cool, man.
The advent calendar. I'm gonna go talk about the advent calendar that I've got. The advent calendar that I've had is really, really cool. It's not just because I think my conception of what I thought of German beers was that they're actually kind of boring, and actually the advent calendar's kind of proven me wrong, because there's a lot of different kinds of beers. Dark beers, wheat beers, lagers, things like everything. And it's really, really nice. I've not had a bad one yet. I've been sending you pictures of the cans, I think. Weiner Lager I had the other day.
Weiner Lager. I know. I was like, what the hell's this, man?
That was tasty. No.
So why is it called that? Is it literally like lager for sausages or something? What's the Weiner Lager?
I don't know. Is there a place called Weiner? I think that seems like that seems like the most plausible. I didn't do my research on that one. I had the other one where it was like Schwarzbock beer, and had a big picture of like a Springbok on the front and stuff. It was really, really cool. Yeah.
A what on the front?
Schwarzbock, so that means black bock.
Black.
Or but like a Springbok kind of thing,
okay.
Cool.
And
it was like a really cool can. It was like golden Springbok with like black can. It was really cool. Yeah.
Nice.
Had some nice beers.
I really wish I'd have jumped on that sort of advent calendar thing. I had an email a couple of days ago. Beer 52 they're now offering it at like £44 or something, taken down from like 60, because it's obviously at the time of recording it's like December 6th, so you're already a few days in. But I really can't afford it, and at the moment I'm still on the come down from that like massive drinking night I had. And I think in a few days, my birthday, I'll be ready to start knocking them back again, I think. I think it's because we had a lot of beer, and then I started hitting the rum, and messed me up.
You can what I've been doing is I've not been, because I very rarely drink every day anyway. What I have been doing is just saving them up for the weekend. That's generally what I've been doing with them, like with the advent calendar beers.
I could do that, but I like the thought. I like sort of little and often, and like one beer a night. I think is is fine, especially if it's these like fancy. You're not drinking them to get pissed. You're drinking it to see like what the beer is.
No, but
if it tastes like, and compare it to the other ones.
No, but if you have like 7 and you save them up for a Friday and Saturday night, that's like 3 or 4 cans. That's fine. That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
No, I get you.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But yeah, I'm definitely going to have to jump on that next year. I also was thinking about... I was listening to another podcast, the What Culture Gaming podcast. A couple of guys on there do a pod called the Untitled Banter Pod, and it's basically just video game chit-chat. And one of them on there was talking about his coffee advent calendar.
Oh.
Each thing basically comes with like a scoop of ground or beans, to put in your machine or whatnot for you to try. And I think that sounds pretty good, because I do have I have like an espresso machine, not one of these capsule ones. I grind my beans and whatnot. But I have like 1 to 2 coffees in the morning before I leave for work. And so I would be able to have it every single morning. And I would appreciate that more than like a piece of chocolate.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, that was good, dude. That was a pretty good. What we drinking?
What are we drinking?
Yeah, man, nicely done. No Tomo, which means that unfortunately on this big finale we don't have any riddles or any Tomo's Impossible questions for you. So send us an email, or however you want, at Dude Wut Podcast or whatnot, dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com, and flood us with your favourite riddles and things like that, so we're stockpiled for when we come back. That would be cool. So getting straight into the meat of it then, bro. This, as I said, this podcast is basically just sort of I'm titling it a look back at 2021 and a look forward to 2022. So let's look back at 2021, man. What I've done is while I was at work, while I should have been working the other day, I basically typed out about 6 sheets worth of like stuff that I thought might be, useful information, or just like big events across all sort of genres. Not like world news or anything. We're talking, like media sort of thing. Of like things that have happened this year. So we've both got like pages and pages worth of stuff. Excuse me. I just thought, let's just pick out some things that we thought were interesting this year and have a little bit of a discussion on them, dude.
Yeah.
So 2021, big year for films. I know that you appreciate films and you love watching films, but you might not be as into them as me.
I don't watch anywhere near as many as you, but that's because I don't know that's partly because like I think you did like film and stuff at uni, and I think I do like movies, but I have to basically know that it's going to be good before I bother watching it. I don't like to know. Ideally, I don't like to know anything before watching a film, other than it's worth watching, kind of thing. Yeah.
Whether that's really good or really bad or something. So how on the older episodes of Dude Wut, how we chose was we just looked at the stars, and if it said half a star or something, we'd watch it because we knew that it would be worth watching because it's that bad or something.
Yeah.
But this year there was a bit of there was a trend setter this year, and that was the Zack Snyder's Justice League. Now, did you see the Justice League movie back in 2017?
I watched the original. I haven't watched the Zack Snyder cut, if you like, but yeah. What
happened was Snyder left. I think he had some troubles going on at home. Snyder left halfway through development, and it went to Joss Whedon, the guy who did the first Avengers film, maybe the second Avengers film as well. I can't remember, but he's genuinely considered to be like quite a bad dude now. Some bad stuff came up about him, so he basically finished the films and made them like funny and like just basically changed it from what it should have been. And for the last few years up until earlier this year, there was this whole like release the Snyder Cut thing that was just trending everywhere across like Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. And because of like the fans, basically, they got all the actors back. The studio paid to get Snyder back for him to reshoot parts of it and make the film that he wanted to make. And that is like a 4-hour superhero movie that's in like a weird aspect ratio where it's like weirdly squished on the sides. But it's a better version of the film. It's long. But it's just started this thing where now everyone is saying, oh, well, release that version of the film and then release that one. And now it's almost like people, if a movie comes out and it's not that great, everyone is saying, oh, it's obviously not how the director intended and you need to release it like the disc version. And directors are coming forwards and saying like, the studio messed me about, like it wasn't what I wanted it to be and stuff. So it's just started this whole ball rolling of like director's cuts of films.
Yeah.
Which is weird, but that came out like March this year, so that was one of the first big like movie events this year, was this 4-hour HBO Max superhero film. Like, it's good if you've got a whole day where you have absolutely nothing to do, watch it, but otherwise I kind of wouldn't bother.
Oh god, that seems like a long one. I think
it's really long.
4 hours is bad. I'm trying to think. The last long movie that we watched was like The Irishman on Netflix, and that's like 3.5 hours or something, isn't it? Yeah. Like...
So I used to love films that were like 3 hours. I used to love that. But now if a film is 3 hours, I'm sort of a little bit like, I mean, I went to go see... the last film I saw in the cinema was The Eternals. And I think I've mentioned it on this podcast before. But It's okay. It's not that great. But the worst thing about it is the runtime. It's like just under 3 hours. And yeah, my ass was numb in the cinema, and I was like moving around loads. Just, not sort of captivating enough to keep you on it, and like where you don't know what the time is or anything. It was one of those like checking your phone like in the cinema.
Jeez, it's got like 2 hours left.
Yeah. It's only just started.
Yeah, I've been there before.
Yeah, like a load of, as we said, Marvel films. A load of Marvel films this year. You had Black Widow on July 4th. Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man, which comes out in a couple of weeks, which I'm psyched for, by the way.
Yeah.
Booked my tickets to see it in the giant IMAX 3D, proper 3D job. 30 quid for 2 tickets.
I think,
but we calling it a bit of a birthday present for myself. So
I think I've still got to watch the one before that, and then I think we'll watch.
Oh, it's good, man.
Yeah. I like all the new Spider-Man movies. To be fair, they're all pretty good.
Yeah, they're really good. They are really good. Speaking about Black Widow, there was that whole thing this year about the Scarlett Johansson suing Disney. Did you hear about that?
No, what happened there?
So basically, Disney released Black Widow on Disney Plus at the same time that they released it in theaters, and Scarlett Johansson, who plays Black Widow, kicked off and said that like they had voided her contract because she didn't agree to that, and what they're doing is by letting people watch it at home, that people aren't going to the cinema, and she's making less money because of it. So there was this massive suit, and loads of other like female lead actresses, I think like Emma Stone was one of them, sort of all jumped on this thing saying, well, my film came out to streaming as well and stuff. What made it worse is that Disney put a statement out that was like really quite like like passive aggressive towards Johansson, and like a lot of people really didn't like that, including Kevin Feige, who's like the big Marvel man who controls everything.
But isn't this why contracts exist? That
yeah.
You
apparently Disney are saying like well, yeah, like this was always the plan, and also it's not like she's not making money off of every time someone buys it on instant access or whatever it's called. Yeah. Like she's still making a lot of money. Like, I don't know what she's on about.
I wouldn't worry about how well Scarlett Johansson's doing. I'm sure she's doing just fine.
Yeah. So anyway, what happened is that it basically disappeared. Excuse me. It basically disappeared. Nobody heard about it, and Marvel have now announced a load of other projects with Johansson. So it's obviously been settled outside of courts. I reckon she's had quite a big payoff to just stay cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But you just got to think like
so that happened, and that was like July this year.
But you just got to think like if you're like a big Hollywood actor, you're in these massive Marvel movies, like you'd think that your agent or whatever would go through that contract with a fine-tooth comb, or your lawyers would be like, by the way, this is all fine, or no, this is not.
Well, she must have thought though that she was in the right to challenge, basically.
Must be.
And just while we're on the topic of the sort of the Marvel-y thing, basically, did you hear about the James Gunn thing that happened this year?
Yeah.
That was another like Marvel controversy. Basically, he directed the Guardians films, the first 2 Guardians films. He got sacked by Marvel, Disney, or whatever, for like really old tweets or something, like offensive tweets that came out ages ago. He got sacked. Then he made the Suicide Squad for DC, and loads of the cast, like Dave Bautista and that, I'm pretty sure were like, get him back or we walk. So Marvel rehired him. So it's almost like he jumped over there, made a film for them for a minute, and now he's jumped back, and now he's making this again.
I think a lot of this,
all sorts going on at Marvel this year, all sorts.
You got to also think like how much of this is just like manufactured, like drama. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely. A lot of it really could be
like,
trying to just drum up interest in the topic.
Well, for the new Guardians movie that's going to be coming out at some point,
Definitely. Big one this year. James Bond was finally released.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet, Hamby?
Not yet, man. Not yet.
What the hell's wrong with you, man?
I don't go to this. Honestly, I haven't been to cinema since like pre-COVID.
Have you got Sky?
No, I got Virgin.
Oh damn it! It's on. So it might be on like Amazon or something, but it's on Sky to watch at home now.
Yeah.
You gotta watch it, man. I want to have a big chat with you about it.
I will watch it. I'll watch it.
It's good, bro. It's good. But sorry, carry on.
No, I was saying we just don't know. We're just busy. I don't get a chance to watch like movies that often. You know, it's.
Yeah, but why didn't you go to the cinema to see it, man? Bond 25.
We were busy around then. We were on holiday, to be fair, around then, and then we just.
Oh yeah, I think you might have been on holiday when it came out, actually. But no, the big thing about this is that it was postponed for 3 times.
Yeah.
Basically, it was supposed to come out years ago. It was filmed years ago, and every time, excuse me, every time they put loads of money into advertising it, and they're like, oh, and then it's like coronavirus, can't release it, and they're like, oh, and then that happened 3 times. Just to think at how much money they have probably spent on like marketing.
Yeah. It's
probably more than the film cost or something. So in the end they were like, fuck it, let's just fucking release it, man. Like get it out there. But it's good, and it did very well. So that was early October, I think, October 8th, something like that. But it's good. It's well worth a watch. It is a really good ending to the Daniel Craig Bond films.
Okay. I will watch it, I promise. I know I'm terrible.
So you have to check it out. Yeah, okay, so everybody jump on Hamby's like social media and whatnot, and don't spoil it, but tell him to watch James Bond so we can chat about it. I don't know if you're seeing this thing, Hamby, but there's a little list of the top grossing films of 2021. Just while we're on the topic of films, we'll just finish off with this and move on to something else, shall we? But you can basically see that the number one film is the top 3 films in this top 10 list are all Chinese cinema.
Top 3?
Not top 3, 3 of the films.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. The Battle of Lake Changjin.
Yeah, surpassing 600 million worldwide, making the films the highest grossing non-English films ever made.
Wow.
That's a big milestone.
Yeah. What's the other one? Shang-Chi?
Shang-Chi... No, it's The Battle at Lake Changjin, Hi Mom, and Detective Chinatown 3 are the 3 big Chinese films.
Okay. Yeah.
I think although Shang-Chi is, has a lot of Chinese elements and things in it, it's still a Marvel.
No,
so
I didn't know if they filmed... if it was filmed in China or whatever.
Yeah.
No idea. Yeah.
No Time to Die made it to number 3.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah. Fast 9 at number 4. Have you watched that? Yeah.
I haven't seen Fast 9. I've seen I want to say most of the Fast and Furiouses. I'd say I've seen it.
I'm the same.
I think I've seen at least 5 or 6, maybe more. They kind of all just. They're honestly kind of all.
They do. They're so hard to remember. So I recently was like, right, I'm going to watch them all leading up to Fast 9. I'm going to watch them all, and even I got burnt out around Fast 7.
There's some
and didn't carry on with it. But there's some hella memes.
There's some hella memes. There's also some really shit movies. Well, there's some really bad movies in the Fast and Furious franchise.
It's more about just stupid, mind-numbing action.
Yeah.
Big stupid action, and literally Vin Diesel in a little black tank top saying "family" over and over again.
Family.
Which that meme that I sent to our group chat, and it's maybe 20 guys all dressed up just saying "family" over and over again. I watch that all the time because it just cracks me up, man. But yeah, number 6, you got Venom: Let There Be Carnage. I thought that film was crap. Tom Hardy, great actor. Andy Serkis, great director. Shit film. I reckon it's the studio. I reckon the studio had their fingers in everything. But yeah, then you've got Godzilla vs. Kong, which actually was pretty good. And then a couple of Marvel films, and then Dune, which we spoke about at length, I think.
Yeah.
I gave up on the book, man. I gave up.
It's a bit hard to follow, I've heard.
Yeah, just... and also it didn't help that I wasn't listening to the audiobook on Audible or Spotify, and I kept losing my place, and I kept having to, like, find it again, and... Well, to be fair, there is a version of it on Spotify, but it's weird. It's like... It's this woman with this weirdly soft voice while this acoustic guitar plays in the background. And it's almost like sending you to sleep kind of thing. I can't listen to it while I'm riding or something. I'll be out in the canal, like... Yeah, so I can't listen to that one because it's oddly calm. So I like to have like a, someone who's a bit more like reading it. But yeah, I kept losing my place, and it's very like, I want to say like Arabic inspired. There's a lot of words that you would, if you knew nothing, you'd be like, oh, that sounds kind of Arabic-y sort of thing. So there's a lot of like, as with Lord of the Rings and stuff, there's a lot of like made up words, and you're sort of like, what's like the Gomjabor and the Thingabob and the yeah, yeah, just hard to follow. Kept losing my place. Had to give up with it. I think it's going to be a holiday book. I think it's going to be a physical holiday book next time I'm on holiday.
Yeah.
I'm going to blast through that. Should we talk a bit about music?
Yeah.
So I basically printed out for us a big chart of the top 40. I guess it's just the top performing 40 songs of the year according to officialcharts.com. I guess they must have some kind of way of charting its performance and stuff. There was a few other ones I was looking at, but it was like Rolling Stone's like top 200 and Telegraph's top 100, and I think that was just sort of like favoritism, but this seemed to be a bit more like statistics based. So we're both looking at it now, and it looks like the top 2 tracks of the year are both Olivia Rodrigo tracks. Have you listened to Olivia Rodrigo?
We're showing our age here. I don't know who she is.
So I don't either. I've heard one of her songs on Absolute whatever radio, but I know that basically, and it's another point here. Her debut album Sour was literally like a record breaker. It got Album of the Year by loads of places. I've got a feeling that she was like a Disney actress, or she was in like High School Musical or something like that.
Maybe, yeah.
But she's literally just sort of come up from there and released this album, and it's gone down like crazy. Apple Album of the Year. That's a crazy high sort of accolade to get.
Yeah.
And she's got the top 2 slots.
Damn.
So, yeah.
And there's more in there as well. There's another one of hers, Deja Vu, as well.
Is there actually?
Number 29.
So, as you say, we're showing our age. Looking through this list, Hamby, how many of those there do you know?
I know, to be fair, right, I know a few, actually. Like, it's the first one, like... Okay, so the number 5 on there, and I'm actually surprised it's not higher, is that Montero by Lil Nas X.
Yeah, okay. I've heard the song. Yeah,
so obviously, like, Lil Nas X like blew up. Was it last year or the year before with Old Town Road?
That's a guilty pleasure.
And that's like literally that was literally one of the highest selling singles of all time, wasn't it? If you count all of the covers, it was like ridiculous. Because there was like 5 different covers of it. So I know, and I do know this Montero song because this is the one that I can't remember when it released earlier in the year, where basically like I don't know how much of it was like jokey, but like obviously there's lots of like devil-y stuff in it.
So it's the video where he goes down to hell and he fully gives the devil a lap dance.
Yeah, and and it's obviously like because Lil Nas X is gay and stuff, and like I think it was
like crazily openly gay.
Yeah. And
some people just can't handle.
No. I think the music video for it was like kind of purposely like that way. And then, like, obviously, like,
100%.
Obviously, like, you know, some people got a bit wound up by devil worshipping, all this kind of stuff. But you know,
yeah,
like,
it was all in the news, and then kids were wearing parents are worried that kids would become like Satanists and all this. Didn't he also release like knockoff Nike shoes that had blood in the soles? Or something like that?
I remember that. And then didn't Nike weren't very happy because obviously they
I don't know if you've seen the shoes, but they're like it even had a Nike tick on it, and it was like, hang on, that's not Nike, it's got nothing to do with it. No surprise Nike are going to be like, hang on a minute, you know.
But I remember that. And to be honest, like you got to think like Lil Nas X, like he's, you know, been around for a few years now, but like he's always, you know, last couple of years he's been up there in the charts. And actually, like, it's one of these things where you might not even like the music, but actually the marketing behind it is insane. Like, you know, just becoming a meme.
Oh, they knew. Him and his team knew exactly what they were doing with 100%. That Montero.
And it worked.
Just moving on a little bit, I've just noticed that number 8 on there is Wellerman by Nathan Evans. That thing almost came in as left as fast as it came in, didn't it? Like, it was all over the place for about 3 weeks, and then it was gone. It was like, I think it started as like a TikTok. Not that I watch TikTok, but it started as a TikTok video of I don't know if he's like Scottish or wherever he's from, but a guy just singing like a sea shanty. Yeah. And then people started doing that duet thing where they're adding like instruments and harmonizations and stuff. And it became like a Euro pop dance anthem or something with this like Bill and Ted remix. I sort of thought like, yeah, fair play, man, because like sea shanties are really cool. Always, you know, Assassin's Creed 4, I used to listen to the sea shanty like soundtrack when I wasn't even playing the game. Like I love that sort of shit. So hearing that, like, you know, little kids are singing and dancing to like sea shanties, it's pretty cool how he brought that back around.
He cashed in, didn't he? Fair play to him.
He did, yeah. He saw it and he went for it. Yeah. I gotta say though, like, what's he doing now? Like I said, that thing was all over the place. It was all on the radios, and now it's completely gone.
Yeah, I remember. So he's got a couple songs on this. Is the Weeknd, who I actually like, of sort of modern pop music. I do actually quite like The Weeknd. I like a lot of his songs. I like, you know, for several years. He's got Save Your Tears as number 4, and then Blinding Lights is number 10. Actually surprised that
I really do not like that Save Your Tears song.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it. But I do really like Blinding Lights, because to me that's just like synthwave. Yeah. It's just like sort of 80s synthwave sounding stuff, and I think that's cool.
So, I mean, I don't know if you remember, but he also did the Super Bowl this year as well.
He did, and
really
to be fair, that's one thing that made me like him a bit more, because I read that like he funded so much of that himself.
Yeah, it was insane choreography.
So that to just fulfill his own personal dream. Like, I'll admit, like, I may not like him that much, or his like weird thing he's got where he always has, like, he's had the shit kicked out of him when he's got plastic surgery or something, but he does have a great voice. He does have a really great voice.
He was in that,
and, you know, yeah, fair play to him.
He was in that Adam Sandler movie I watched last year.
Was he?
As himself. Is it like Diamonds on Netflix? Adam Sandler did a movie on Netflix.
Oh, Uncut Gems.
Yeah, Uncut Gems. Yeah, he's in that as himself.
I haven't seen.
Oh,
that
he's
yet.
in that as himself. The Weeknd. Yeah. Yeah, that's a really good movie, by the way. I'm going off topic, but yeah, The Weeknd
I
is
heard
himself.
that's supposed to be pretty good. No way, no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, so that was just a random thing I just remembered. Yeah.
But looking down through the list now, from Blinding Lights, which is apparently the 10th track, the 10th best performing track.
You've got a controversial one in there. You got
Go on.
I got Goosebumps, Travis Scott and HMVME, me.
I don't know it.
I don't know it either, but I just saw it because it was Travis Scott. Obviously, a lot of hot water recently since the Astro World stuff.
Yeah. Did you hear that the last little bit of news to come from that is that he is now offering to pay for like the funerals of some of the people that died, and those families are now turning it down. They're literally like, we don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah,
But I did see a video. I saw a video, and it was literally like someone was TikToking, and they were like people getting crushed while Travis is doing the robot or something.
Yeah,
and like literally people are like screaming for their lives, and he's there like genuinely on a massive podium roboting, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah,
you know. Sorry to interrupt a sec, but if anyone could hear my dog barking from outside, apologies. I listened to the latest episode back, and it sounds quiet as anything from here, but for some reason you can really hear my dog barking on the mic. So if you do hear that, apologies.
So
sorry, man. What are you going to say?
So if moving on, there's a song right at the bottom that I cannot stand. It's number 38.
There's a few on there towards the bottom that I cannot fucking stand. 38.
Yeah, 38.
Oh my god, that's
sugar,
one of them.
Watermelon Sugar, yeah.
Oh my god.
It's a terrible song.
It's so bad. Why is it doing so well? It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's literally just him saying, watermelon sugar, hi. Watermelon sugar, hi. Oh my god. It's awful.
It's one of the songs on the new FIFA as well, so you hear it on that as well when you're playing
it. There's another one on there I can't stand as well, which is I actually do have it on my playlist because I listened to it when it came out, but now I hate it. Dance Monkey by Tones and I.
I don't know how that goes.
So I think I don't like that song purely because I don't like Tones and I don't like how she sings. She sings like so it's the one that's like dance for me, dance for me, dance for me.
Oh god, yeah.
Like it's just the way she sings. She's like oh ee oh ah, you know, it's horrible. She does this squeaky little voice, and like all of her songs sound like that.
Yeah.
I mean, fair play for being like mega famous, but yeah.
So there's a couple British acts in there. Ed Sheeran obviously doing very well as always. Bad Habits, number 3. Ed Sheeran's
can't stand that one either.
No, but Ed, he's always in the charts, give or take.
And to be fair, I like how he's sort of playing on the fact that like he's like Marmite, isn't he? People love him or you hate him. And in the last podcast, I spoke about the film Red Notice on Netflix. I don't know if you've seen it.
No, haven't seen it.
You're not missing much, but towards the end of that film, there's like a excuse me. There's like a concert, and Ed Sheeran is playing at the concert, and the police basically rush in and start to arrest him, and they try and stop him, and he's like, "What are you doing? Don't you know who I am?" And he's like, "I'm Ed fucking Sheeran," and he's like trying to smack him with a guitar and stuff. It's hilarious. He's like really playing up on it. But yeah, no.
And
there are
Someone You Loved by Lewis Capaldi. I think
I
know
hate that one as well.
I know the song though. Yeah.
To be fair though, this is just like pop charts. We obviously could have got a list of like rock charts or whatnot, but this is popular music.
Yeah, I know, but like there's, it's popular for a reason. Either it's catchy or I mean whether you like it or not. I mean, there's a lot of young people out there that love this sort of music, and like like you say, it just makes you feel a bit old when you're seeing. There's so many on there that I have genuinely never ever heard of before. I don't agree with people who say that like all new pop music is bad, because it's not. Because I listen to some things and I'm like, I quite like that, or I think that's quite catchy. I do like it.
It has. I always say with anything, I like any sort of music as long as it's got something going for it. Like, if it's a bit different or it's doing this or this. Yeah, like I won't discriminate against like a 17-year-old kid who's making music or something. But if he's doing something different, I'll listen to it. Just seeing on there actually, 7:30 fans are going to be happy. There's an Ian Dior track on there. Mood with 24K Golden.
Lots of...
It's that like, why are you always in a mood? Something.
Yeah. There's lots of Doja Cat. And I
don't know who that is.
Oh, I know a few of her older songs. She did like the Bitch I'm a Cow song from a few years ago. Like, it was a bit of like an internet joke. Yeah.
I do not know.
Yeah, man. Other than that.
So, mate, we've looked at the charts a little bit. I wrote down a list of things that I thought was sort of interesting facts and things or events that have happened this year. I don't know if you're into Daft Punk, but when I searched like 2021, bands and things like band news, like I was reminded that Daft Punk split up this year.
I didn't. You know what? I don't think I realised they were even still doing music. I assumed that they probably last thing they made was like 10 years ago or something. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I think that the last album they made, to be fair, was that Random Access Memories, which actually was a really good album because it was just like funky and like soulful, electronic. It was a good album, but I think it's two like French guys, basically two French DJs and whatnot. I think they have just decided to pack it in or to take the masks off and do their own thing separately or whatnot. But probably one of the biggest acts in electronic music in the last 20, 30 years.
Yeah, 100%.
Got some really big hits. Yeah.
Collaborated with lots of people as well. Did loads of like
definitely.
not covers, featured on a lot of tracks and things like that.
Yeah, a very unique style of like that thing they did where they would record a slightly singing, they'd record samples and put them on the keyboards. So it would sound like they're singing, but actually they're playing it. Very cool. ABBA, ABBA, first album in over 40 years, and it's a banger. It's really good. Don't know if you've listened to it yet, but it's well worth listening.
Listen to a couple tracks,
Yeah, a couple of tracks. I wrote down that DMX. So DMX passed away this year,
yeah.
Same day as Prince Philip.
Yeah, I remember. I do remember that. Yeah, it was weird.
Do you remember the memes?
Oh God, I remember.
So it was like they were meant for each other or something, and they just couldn't live without each other. It's just stuff like that, basically. But
yeah, I do remember.
Such a strange pairing.
Exxon, give it to you.
Yeah, I used to blast the X-Gon Give It To You cross Call Me Maybe Carly Rae Jepsen mashup. I used to blast that at work all the time. That was an absolute banger. So good. Dusty Hill, bass player from ZZ, unfortunately passed away this year.
I remember that.
So when I was looking for this, all this information, it was just lists and lists of people that have died this year. Musicians, it's crazy when you actually I could have filled all these pages with people that we've heard of who have died this year. Madness.
Yeah.
Bear with me a sec, Hammers. I've swigged all my Coke. I've just got to quickly refill this. And I'm back.
Damn, that was quick.
It was, man. I got a bathroom right there, bro. Just filling up.
Oh, drinking bathroom water.
Drinking bathroom water.
There's just something dirty about it. Do you not think?
What?
No. Like even though I'm happy to drink it out of the tap downstairs, but if you're drinking it out of the bathroom, I don't know. It just feels kind of wrong. Do you not think? It just feels kind of wrong.
I've never heard that before. What?
It just feels kind of wrong, even though it's exactly the same water.
I've literally never heard that before. I'm genuinely intrigued. If you think it's weird to drink tap water that's come from your bathroom tap, the sink tap, if you think that's weird or normal or whatever, send an email, dudewhatpodcast@gmail.com. Why? Why is it weird?
I don't know, because
there's nothing on the. There's no. It's not like this shit smeared on the faucet or something like that.
I don't know, because you clean yourself and stuff in the sink. You brush your teeth and stuff. I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know.
Surely though it's clean. If that's the case, then it would be cleaner than like a kitchen tap where you're dealing with food and stuff like that.
I don't know. I've just always thought that. Like if
water's water, bro. Like, it's all the same pipe.
If I'm upstairs and I'm like, oh, I want to get some more water, I'll go down to the kitchen.
Really?
Yeah.
What? I think that's like an ADHD OCD sort of thing for you, man.
I don't think
I mean, I don't know. That's why I'm saying I'd be interested to know what other people think, because to me that's just weird. Why would I go downstairs when there's a
bathroom water, man? That's gross.
Bathroom, bathroom water. Ooh.
I'll tell you what. If you were like, okay, fair enough. If it's your own bathroom. What if it's like someone else's bathroom or a public bathroom?
So not a public bathroom, because that's you don't know, there could be shit smeared on that faucet. Someone else's bathroom, fine. If I know them, fine. I'd come around your house and I would look you in the eye while I pour a glass of water from your bathroom.
You drink it like a water fountain.
Yeah, look, it's spilled on my face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a strange one, man. I'm gonna ask Fee if she. I want to know. I need more opinions on that. I'm gonna ask Fee if she thinks that's weird.
Nah, Fee already.
Okay.
Fee already.
Major.
So Fee already thinks I'm
major
weird,
diversion from the. Well, the first impression was a bit of a weird one, to be fair. Yes. But I think that's probably a story for another time.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Going back to the music-y thing, big news for Marilyn Manson this year. We had a little bit of a chat about this before we sort of went on air, and you were like, you hadn't really heard that much because you're not really that big a fan of Manson.
I think I do remember a little bit. I think I remember something about it, but I probably just glossed over it. I remember, yeah.
Well, it's a tough one because there's a lot of people out there who are fans of Manson, who have tattoos and things, who like really love his music, and it's like you're then told that your one of your like heroes, one of your biggest, people that you love, is like a horrible person, basically. Although it was a little bit weird to start with because he was basically accused of sexual abuse by his ex-partner Evan Rachel Wood, who she's in Westworld. I don't know if you watched that. Yeah. She's like the main character with the blonde hair. So he was accused of all sorts, right? And straight away he was slammed. He was dropped from his label. He was literally like blacklisted immediately. And it like without any proof, And a lot of people were like, "Whoa, hang on, like surely it's innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent, But I haven't been following it that much. To be fair, like I like Marilyn Manson's music. Guy always came across as like a weirdo and stuff, but I think he wanted that. He wanted to be like the outsider or whatnot. So it's really easy for people to like look at him and go, "Course he did it. Look at him, look at him." So I need to look in. To be fair, I need to look into it like to see if there's more evidence and stuff. But to be fair, more and more news stories keep coming out about him. I think the last thing that came out was that apparently he had like rooms that he would lock women in, and he would hold guns to their heads and stuff. And it's like, not a good year for Marilyn Manson.
Well, on that topic, there's we didn't mention it beforehand, but what about all the R. Kelly stuff?
Oh God, yeah.
Like proper found guilty of all that stuff. He's now in prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was this year, wasn't it? That was like summer, I think.
I think it was like it was this year and last year. Yeah, I think he actually was convicted this year.
Yeah, that was pretty big when that happened. R. Kelly, obviously,
full on. Yeah, like for a long time he's been doing that.
Yeah, but like 10 years ago or so, he was probably one of the biggest R&B like stars at the time. Yeah, pretty crazy.
So yeah, I mean, everyone knows. Is it Remix? Is that Remix Ignition or whatever? Is that his? Is that one of his tracks?
Oh God, might be.
It's one of those ones that's like,
yes,
certified party band.
Yeah. It is. It is. I know the song now. Yeah, it is. It is.
Now it's like, stay away from that. The guy's an absolute monster. Yeah, that was genuinely like, because I think Fee obviously didn't know anything and whatnot, but she loves that song and she probably would say that she was a fan. A
lot of people.
Well, yeah, and then finding out that like it's the same with the Manson thing, except this dude's convicted in prison. Finding out that like one of your heroes is an absolute monster.
Yeah. And then
nasty.
Yeah, and then the other thing that we mentioned was all the stuff about Britney, which all came about. Well, which all sort of seemed to have come to a conclusion. Like, was it a couple months ago or a month ago? Where I think
about a month ago. I would say.
I think she's got the conservatorship off of her dad, which was obviously pretty big deal because that's been going on for a long time. But obviously, I know it's been. I know there's been like there's a Netflix thing about it, wasn't there? I think
there was.
And,
yeah.
I think there was a lot of people. A lot of people were basically taking her side of things, where that her dad was basically had far too much control, and that over time she's now basically more in control of her finances and what she does with her life. Yeah, well, I mean,
it all came from that sort of shaved head when she went crazy. It all came from that thing, and he took control and whatnot. But then, since then, he was almost like he could literally tell her what to do, and she had to do it. Like, there's some really horrible videos that you watch now, and it's like she's at a concert, she's performing, and she's like, she literally is saying to the crowd, she's like, I'm so unwell, like I'm way too ill to be performing now, but I have to do it, and the fans are like, yeah. And she's genuinely saying like, help me, on stage.
Yeah.
Imagine just being told everything you had to do. Awful.
Yeah. So I don't know if who knows? Maybe she'll release some new stuff, and she's
I think she will. She. It's a bit weird at the moment because I don't know if you've seen, but like a lot of these pop stars are excuse me. They're like just putting loads of really revealing pictures on Instagram. Yeah, now.
I saw. I followed Britney. I know what you're going to say. I follow Britney on Instagram, and
yeah. So she keeps putting all these pictures up of like just covering her like nipples. Basically.
Yeah, it's like.
But I think she's doing it because she couldn't do it for the last X amount of years.
Maybe, yeah.
And she's literally just like, fuck it, it's my body. I'm doing what I want now.
Yeah.
But the one that's the weirdest is I don't know if you've seen. It's Madonna.
Oh.
So. She's got to have had some work done, right? Because she looks nothing like she did, I swear, back in like 2005 or something, when she was still old. But in the most recent lot of pictures, she's put them on Instagram, and it's like she's on a bed with like boob hanging out and like showing her ass. And there's one where it literally is just she's under the bed, and it's just her ass there with her legs, And it's hilarious because 50 Cent basically jumped on it and was like, "What the hell is this?" And she's basically slammed him back. So now there's this like Instagram war going on between Madonna and 50 Cent, where she's like, "Bet you won't look as good as I do when you're my age and stuff." And it's like, what are you doing? Like, why, Madonna? You're famous enough. You don't need to be posting these like. It's borderline porn pictures on Instagram.
It's pretty close to it, isn't it, with Instagram? But
it is. I will send you that picture of Madonna's ass after this thing.
You don't need to. It's
fine. Yeah, no, I'm going to do it, man. It's fine. I'm going to do it. But yeah. Big thing that we've spoke about for the last 4 weeks or so, man. Chili Peas announced a world tour this year.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
And an album.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. I don't really know what to expect, really. I'm kind of... I've got to be honest, I kind of just, I used to be I am still into the Chili Peppers, but I don't listen to them anywhere near as much as I used to.
No.
And but I do like them, and I'm looking forward to hearing what the next album comes out like.
So it's a weird one, right? Because I think I sent it to you, and I definitely spoke to the people in the podcast. Excuse me. I spoke to everyone in the podcast I did on Friday about Spotify Wrapped. Now, Chili Peppers have been, I think it's 3 or 4 years in a row on Wrapped now. They're my number one artist. But I was sure that they wouldn't be this year, because I really have not listened to that much Chili Peppers. I don't think at all this year I've actually searched for them and put a song on. I think that they're down as being my number one artist because maybe it just keeps playing them in my big playlist. But I was a bit shocked that they were my number one artist again this year.
Yeah. No, I'm looking forward to it, and we got tickets to go see them in London in June. Which pretty hyped for, to be fair. That should be really good. I think
I'm really hyped
because it's so far away. I think I'm it's 6 months away or whatever, or 5 months away. But when it's a month away, I'll be like, hell yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm mega pumped for it. I recently said Ghost to touring again with Twin Temple, a band that Ghost I love, but I have seen them not that long ago. Twin Temple I really love, and I would love to see them. But I looked at my finances, and was like, Ghost, Chili Peas, Ghost, Chili Peas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's basically my gig budget for the whole of next year is Chili Peas.
Well, I know we complained about this after we bought them, but 90. How much did we pay? 95 was it? 90.
97 a ticket.
97 quid for a ticket. It's an absolute rip-off, but
it is.
It's just taking advantage of people, idiots like us who are just fuck it.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. Every big band does it. It's just the way it is.
And unless they announce some sort of super mega tour where they get Navarro, Klinghoffer, where they get every single guy who used to be in the band back to do a mega Chili Peas tour, I'm good. I can go the rest of my life without going to see Chili Peas.
Yeah. I think I've only seen them once, and it was after they released I'm With You, so it was 20. What would that have been? 2013? No, 20. No, 2015.
No, you didn't see him then.
No.
You saw him 2016.
Yeah, it was 2016 after. No, it wasn't I'm With You. It was the other one.
The Getaway.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, I got my years mixed up. 2015 when I saw them. So I haven't actually seen them with Shanti at all. So.
Well, I think that was the selling point for us, wasn't it? Because I wouldn't. My thing is I usually don't like to £60 is my cut off usually. £60 is a lot of money in my opinion to go see a band, but with Frusciante back, yeah, I'll pay it. I just want to see him. I want to feel the solos. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ready for it. Video games, man. Video games.
Yeah. I think. Yeah, I'll start off with this.
Go on.
I think it's been the first year, or we've just gone past the first year of the Xbox Series X and PS5. If you like the new generation.
Yeah.
It's about a year old or so.
Yeah.
What are your
Sorry about that, man. I necked so much water that I had to go and get a refill of more dirty bath water. About the what do I think of the sort of the next / current gens a year?
Yeah, I know you haven't. I know neither of us have had a chance to play the PS5 or any of the games that are exclusive to it. But what do you think of the new gen on the whole from Series X?
It's been pretty. I would say it's disappointing, or disappointing and slow. It feels like we're on the right track, but I don't understand why they're still making these games backwards as well as forwards, if you know what I mean. So they're still all of the new games that are coming out are still being made for the what was it before it, the Xbox One?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how can you market a game as being like new and everything if I can play it on my Xbox One that came out in 2013 or 2012 or whatever?
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think the problem that I've had with the new gen so far is that for up until about November, I was just playing old Xbox One games on my Series X. Like, that's literally all I had to play. Like, there was the odd game here and there, but for the most part, it was those kind of games, like games that I already had, or and for a while, I was just like, I've just basically spent a lot of money on a Series X to play my old games, and then now, like, actually over the last like 2 to 3 months, it has picked up a fair bit, and I've actually now.
Yeah, granted, I mean those older games did. I mean, I was way more impressed with the Series X than I was with the Xbox One. It felt like a powerful console, and it did play those older games better. But yeah, I was still playing those old games. I was even playing Xbox original games on my Series X.
And like I think like now there's a few more games come out now, and it's going to lead into something else we're going to speak about in a bit about the big blockbuster games of the year, that have come out. But yeah, you've got a bit more choice now. I think you've got good racing games, good shooting games, good RPG games. There's sort of a bit more variety now. I think what you're going to start to see in the future is when they release new generations of consoles. I think they're getting to the point now where it's not going to have that wow factor like it did when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like when we went, think about it, when you went from like when the 360 came out, it was like, wow, this is amazing. Like. And when like the Xbox, it's gonna be more of like a gradual thing now, and actually like they're getting to the point now where graphics are pretty much great for every single game now. Like, as in on the most part, you're like, it looks amazing. Like, but you'd be kind of disappointed if it didn't look amazing.
Yeah, I understand, defo.
But yeah. I mean, I think I'm looking forward to 2022. Because I think that there's going to be a few more games that are going to come out that are actually specifically for this kind of hardware.
Yeah, like I say, I hope they just... Like, I get that, people on the old consoles are still paying and that, but, like, it's the next gen. You're supposed to leave the last gen behind, move on to the new thing. You can't keep supporting these old consoles.
Well, I think part of the problem... I don't know if this is partly why this has happened, but... hardly anybody could get hold of the new consoles, either of them. Yeah. Like, it's been ridiculous. It's been a combination of COVID and just people just literally scalping them as soon as they come out. Like, me and you.
Yeah, ridiculous.
I got mine a bit later than you. But, like, I was so lucky to get it. I literally just, like, came on stock and I went, buy, and I got it somehow.
Yeah, same. So the morning that they got released, I was on the phone to Mr. Adam Grizzly Bear Homer, and we were just like, where can it go? And it was like massive queue trying to get in game and whatnot. We literally both just went on Microsoft.com, just clicked buy, and it was like, there you go.
Yeah.
So it was easy for us, but yeah, some people are having a real hard time.
I think now, like, at the moment, especially with the run up to Christmas, like, I think it's pretty much impossible to get one. Like I say, unless you're really lucky that, I mean, the way that I did it was I had like a Stock Informer app that just told me, oh, it's in stock at this website, and I just went and bought it. But like it's. I think Microsoft and Sony and all the sellers, they're going to have to do something about it because they must be losing money to this. Like,
you think,
because like people aren't, you know what I mean? Like, you want, if you're selling Xboxes and consoles, you want it to be in the hands of people who are actually using it and who are actually buying games on it and paying money. Like, it's useless to them to have it just sitting in someone's garage, in a box. But yeah, it's been a difficult year with COVID and people actually being able to buy them, buy the actual new consoles. But hopefully, going into,
I think it's somewhat worse for the. I mean, it seems like it's worse for the PlayStation. than it is for the Xbox.
So
but like you say, coming up to Christmas, it's going to be
So
impossible,
I think you
isn't it?
can get Series S's quite easily. I think if you wanted to buy,
I think you could from the start.
yeah,
to be fair,
and
the
to be
Series
fair,
S
the Series S like is a bargain actually. Like it's 280 quid or something, and you can play every single new game in 1080p, like 60 frames a second. That's a pretty good deal, I think.
You can't play. Yeah, but you can't play in 4K. Though,
No, you can't do 4K, but a lot of people haven't got 4K TVs, like you know.
True.
But
Yeah,
but,
yeah,
but you
yeah.
know, like, but if I've got a 4K TV, so I got a Series X, so you know, because it's a bit of a waste
well,
otherwise.
same.
But yeah, moving on.
Yeah. So one of the biggest, if not probably the biggest bit of video game news this year that I remember was Microsoft's acquisition of ZeniMax Media.
Yeah.
ZeniMax obviously being the big, massive, like, umbrella corporation that owns multiple things, including Bethesda and basically countless other things. It basically meant for the the standard person who doesn't really know much, it meant that Xbox bought Bethesda. Bethesda, obviously one of the biggest, maybe not so much now, but like, back on the previous generation of consoles, and even the generation before that, one of the absolute powerhouse game studios with titles, producing titles such as like Elder Scrolls, Fallout, games like that. Microsoft bought them. Microsoft just have so much money that they're just buying everyone, which is obviously fantastic if you're like an Xbox man.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, I don't know. It does suck if you got a PlayStation. Let's be honest, like it does suck.
Well, I said I know I've said this before in a previous podcast, but I was certain that because people were like, oh, it's going to be exclusive and stuff, like Skyrim's going to be exclusive. I was like, no, why would they do that? They're going to sell it to everyone to make the money. But no, they full on were like, yeah, it's exclusive now, bitches.
I think the thing. So I suspect what Microsoft will do, which is what they've done for nearly all of their exclusives on the new gen, is they do it on PC as well. And I know we kind of just skipped out PC when we were talking about next gen and that sort of thing. Like a lot of people play PC. Like it's probably one of the
definitely.
It's a massive market. So actually, they are losing out money by not selling on PlayStations, but Xbox and PC together is a big market.
Yeah,
big market.
And I genuinely do think that it'll work. I think that a lot of people will buy Xboxes to play these upcoming Bethesda games that they can't play on PlayStation.
Yeah. I mean, I think the game that they've obviously, the game that everyone's looking forward to is the next Elder Scrolls, which was not coming out next year. Is it possibly the year after? I think they've said.
Possibly the year after, something like that. Yeah.
But either way, but you got to remember, Bethesda actually haven't had that good of a. They haven't had that good of a recent run. They've had a few.
No, they haven't. They really
bangers.
haven't.
They released. Everybody rips into them for re-releasing Skyrim every couple of years for starters. Which whatever.
Yeah.
But Fallout 4 was by and large a pretty big disappointment, I think, for a lot of people.
I thought so.
The thing that was undoubtedly a disappointment was Fallout 76.
It just works.
Which me and you tried to play once, and I uninstalled it so quickly because I was like, it's garbage.
Straight
it's garbage.
away.
It's absolute garbage.
It's like that. It's like that clip that Angry Joe. We're big fans of the Angry Joe show, obviously. It's like that clip he shared, where it's like Todd Howard just constantly going, it just works, and it's someone in the game, and as they're looking around, the game is crashing around them, and they're trying to run away from this black abyss that is completely eating the map. It just works.
So they've So they've not had a good track record actually on the last gen.
No, they haven't.
Maybe.
And it's especially bad news to hear that Starfield, which is a big anticipated game, I'm pretty sure is also going to be made on the. I think we said before it's also going to be on the Creation Engine or something, which is their old ass engine.
Yeah, it's the one that everybody criticised them for using on the recent Fallout games. But like, we'll see what comes out of it. To be honest, with the Starfield stuff, it's nice to see them like branching out from Elder Scrolls and
yeah,
Fallout.
for sure. And I think Starfield's supposed to be quite a bit more like realistic, less fantasy, less. I mean, it's obviously going to be sci-fi, but like a bit more grounded, I think.
Yeah.
So sorry, I had to get up. So if you just heard my knees popping, then that's gross. There's a point on here which baffled me when I read it, man, which is that Netflix have acquired the Night School Studio as its first game studio. Since when Netflix going to be making games? That's news to me.
Do you reckon it's... do you remember that thing they did probably a couple of years ago now with the Black Mirror Bandersnatch?
Yeah, I do. There's also that Bear Grylls one as well, where it's
you don't think it's something to do with that?
Choose,
maybe.
Could be, but like the way I read it, it was like game, like a games on demand service type thing or something. I don't know. Interesting.
So to be fair, like
I know that Amazon's getting into gaming.
Yeah. So to be fair, like Microsoft. So on Xbox, we've got the cloud gaming now. You can play on the cloud if you want. I guess maybe Netflix is trying to do something similar. Because the whole thing with cloud gaming is that you could just literally do it on your phone. You don't need to have the hardware there, to play it. But I don't know. It is a weird one. But yeah,
isn't cloud? So I'm not that tech savvy at all, actually. Isn't cloud gaming the sort of thing that Stadia was trying to do?
Yeah, it was. So, like, I mean, Stadia failed for a number of reasons, really. But cloud gaming is good in theory, but it kind of depends on the type of game you're playing and also just how good your internet is. Like,
yeah, because and also like, I mean, don't you need to have like physical machines somewhere?
Yeah, they do, but they do. They, like Microsoft and whoever's hosting the cloud gaming service, or they already have server rooms the size of houses and things already doing all of this. Hosting Xbox Live servers and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, with one of the main problem is that even in this country, like, some people have really good internet, some people have really shit internet, and actually, it's just so varied that over time, like, in 10, 20 years time, everybody will probably have significantly better internet, so it probably work a bit better. But the other thing that actually, even if you do have a really good internet connection, the actual response time between you moving your controller or pressing your keyboard and mouse and it getting sent to the server and back again to do what you want to do, like, it might be a matter of milliseconds, but actually you do notice it. And actually, if you're that might not matter if you're playing, like, I don't know, say you're playing Skyrim, for instance. That probably wouldn't matter because it's a pretty slow paced game. But say you're playing Call of Duty, like, it would be unplayable because it would have like an extra half a millisecond delay time. And
that reminds me actually of when they brought out the Xbox. They first brought out the Xbox One. There was that thing where like you could plug your 360 into the X1 and play it through that. And I tried that, right? But it was all over the place. Like, you tap left, your guy would stand there, and then he would move left, and it was just like, it's unplayable. Like, why do they even advertise that?
So I think, I mean, in 20, 30 years time, I think maybe even less than that. I think like cloud gaming will be the norm, probably. Because it'll have to be, because it's cheaper. It'll mean cheaper hardware, and it
maybe you just buy a controller.
And
that's your hardware.
And the other thing that's gaining in popularity now is you have people having subscriptions for games. So it'll be like Netflix or Amazon. It'll be you pay
Game Pass.
Well, yeah, it's already here, but I think it'll be even more the norm in a few years' time.
Yeah. Interesting stuff, man. Well, the last little point on video games is it was the year of the big three, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, I touched on it earlier. I didn't want to sort of spoil it, but because I was mentioning about the it was.
Well, we've mentioned it. We've mentioned it a lot, like in maybe like the last fucking 6 podcasts in a row. Like, you know, about and on the live streams, the year of the big three, first time since 2015.
Yeah. God, that's been a while. I think one thing that I think most people have issues with is that games these days, and especially these three, they've all just released in not that fantastic states, to varying degrees. Like, you know, we've played a lot of Vanguard, and I do, as much as I do like Vanguard, like it's pretty glitchy. It's pretty glitchy.
So we're when we talk about the big three, we're talking about Call of Duty Vanguard, Halo Infinite, and Battlefield
2042. 2042.
Yeah, it's the first time since 2015. What was the Halo that released in 2015?
Was it Halo Reach? No. It's Halo 5. It's Halo 5 Guardians. Yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
It was that long ago.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, it was Halo 5.
Yeah, that was ages ago.
Yeah,
I think COD is. See, I got more and more people now are saying that like Halo is the outright winner from it. I don't know if you've seen. Did you see that IGN released their Halo campaign review today?
I haven't. Have they given it a good review?
Yeah, they gave it a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I've heard that Halo single players are normally pretty good. They normally put a lot of effort into the single player. I think there's been a few complaints about the multiplayer, about the progression and the battle pass, but it's because it's free to play. People are a bit upset that if you buy the game or if you get it through Game Pass, that actually like people were complaining. People are saying as well that like NPCs and things are wearing armor sets that aren't available. And like for example, to make your character red, you have to pay like $8.99. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So Angry Joe hasn't dropped his review yet, but I think people are saying that. I think it'll probably be positive, but there's definitely a few things that you could complain about. But I think in terms of polish, I think it's probably the most non-glitchy game out of the three. COD Vanguard. Like I say, I've enjoyed the single player a decent amount.
Well, we've enjoyed it loads, man. Like, yeah. I mean, we've been playing it loads, and we've only just started jumping back over to Warzone. We've been playing multiplayer for weeks at this point.
Yeah, but I like the multiplayer, and you know it's good. Don't be wrong, like it has some glitches still, and there's a few.
Oh yeah, it definitely does.
There are a few issues like. Spawning is still just an absolute shit show.
Especially on the small maps. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say that the second place, Battlefield 2042. This is a game that I played when it was on the 10-hour early access that I got with EA access. And when I've played it, that was on a week before official release. And I, like most people, it was an absolute shit show. It was so glitchy. Like it would do stuff like it wouldn't load. You'd start the game and it wouldn't load in your loadout. You would spawn in and there was just weird glitches. It was just looked like it was unfinished. And I only played maybe 3 hours of the early access and I stopped. And I left it for a couple of weeks. And basically they've since brought out three updates. And I finished my 10-hour trial. And I was actually having a blast. It still has some problems, and I got some gift cards on my Xbox account, so I thought, yeah, fuck it, I'll buy it. I'll buy it with some of the gift cards. And I've been having a lot of fun. It's good. It's still got some problems. There are some things that I don't like about the game, like the specialists. They're called specialists in Battlefield.
I think we mentioned it in a previous pod.
You know, and it's frustrating that is just how games are these days, but. If you get past that, gameplay-wise, I do enjoy it, and it is a fun game, and it is a Battlefield game. And Battlefield, Harry knows, like out of all the three of those, Battlefield has historically always been my favourite. I've always
definitely
loved Battlefield games.
Resident Battlefield boy. That's
Yeah,
that's your title.
I like COD, and I also even dabble in Halo, but like, Battlefield's definitely.
I'm looking forward to
favourite.
So I think on the 8th of this month, in a few days, you've got the Halo campaign and Warzone.
Oh, the same day. Oh God.
Yeah. So I think I'm gonna be. I probably will put my time into Warzone that evening because I'm gonna be working. So if you will be on, I will probably be on Warzone that night, and I'll probably play a bit of Halo at the weekend when I'm not really doing so much.
I might have to remind myself what happened in 5 because I can't actually remember.
I played through them all for the first, most of them for the first time this year.
Yeah.
5 was a bit of a weird one. Everyone seems to hate it. I didn't hate it, but it was weird not playing as Spartan as a Master Chief.
The thing that Halo always get right is in my opinion, is the single player. They always do it. They're always pretty well polished.
This one looks. This one is like it's free roam. It's open world, but it looks with that new grappling hook mechanic. It looks pretty good. Yeah, like, I'm gonna play it. And it's apparently it's not doing that thing that I hate, where they just go, open world, here you go, play it your way, as if we want that. No, we want to be slightly handheld and led through. So apparently this is very much like certain parts of the map will unlock as the story progresses to stop you from literally just going to the end and killing the big bad, basically.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it, actually. Looking forward to playing it.
Definitely. Before we move on to the last section of this, which is, a little glancing into the future, I've got a little section here which is basically just personal news. So I don't know if you have any. I'll go first, Hamby. I've got a couple of things. 2021 was a big year for me. I bought a house. Like me and Fee have been saving for a long time, renting loads of different places up and down the country, and we finally managed to buy a house and sort of like settle down a little bit with our little dog and our little cat, and the cat has managed to sneak into the room actually and is just chilling right there, so hopefully she doesn't come over and start scratching me or some shit. But we've managed to like settle down and find somewhere. I've got a new job. She's training for a new job, so we're happy in that respect. The podcast started in May of this year, which has obviously taken a lot of my time and your time, Hamby, and everyone who's listening's time since we started it. We started it, I know I've said this loads of times, but we started it as a hobby, as an excuse for a couple of friends to hang out and have a chat, and it's the sort of the response that we're getting from it is genuinely like overwhelming. The fact that people around the world are tuning in to listen to me talk shit, and Hamby and Tomo and all of the great guests that we've had on over this first sort of season, I guess, of Dude Wut. People are tuning in to listen to it, and it's just not what I expected, and it's just so good. It's great that's happening, and the plan is to just build it from there, build it bigger and bigger. I did have some shit news as well this year. Not to go into it too much because it's it's not hard for me to talk about, but it's hard for other people to talk, so I don't want to put you in too much of a spot, Hamby, but I got diagnosed with Huntington's disease in January of this year, like literally January 2nd or something. So it was like right after Christmas. Hey, Christmas, great time. Yeah, New Year, great time. Oh, by the way, you've got Huntington's disease, which is a pretty gnarly brain disease, which basically shuts you down and kills you, basically. And it was bit shit times. The first few months of this year were genuinely shit times, like sort of worrying about this and about that. By the way, I'm fine, everyone, by the way. Like, I'm unsymptomatic, and if all goes well, hopefully I shouldn't have any symptoms until I'm in my late 40s, 50s. So it's all good. I'm not unwell or anything. But yeah, just a genetic disorder. It's like winning the a really shit lottery, basically. But hey, life goes on. These things happen. Whatever. Like I'm cool with it now. And I was actually talking to Tomo about this because I was hoping to have Tomo on this podcast because he's gone through something not similar but a bit different. So we were going to chat about like life a little bit in this episode. But like if more than anything, it's allowed me to focus on what I want to achieve from my life and what I want to do, what I want to get from it. So yeah, like I'm now more focused than I was and know what I want to do. So yeah, it sucks, but that's just the way it is, and I am doing exactly what I want to do now. So hey. Yeah, other than those few things, Hamby, that was my year. I mean, it's my birthday coming up. I'm going to be 27 years of age.
Ooh.
And that's me. What about you, man? What happened for you this year?
So, yeah, similar. Like we had we got a house last year, but we spent a lot of this year basically getting it to the point where we were happy with it, like decorating, new carpets, new bathrooms, and things like that. And it's nice actually, 'cause it's all kind of coming together now. There's only a handful of things that we want to do now with the house.
Yeah.
So it's really nice actually. And then similar to you, we actually got a dog this year as well. We got a we got our dog in March this year. So we've had him for I've had him since March.
So tell us, you've told us before, but tell us his name and tell us the story of the name, because it's a unique one.
Oh right, yeah. So dog's called Hervey, Hervey.
Hang on.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say spell it.
Yeah, Hervey. And everyone always goes Herbie. Everyone always gets it wrong. But we named him because so me and my girlfriend met in Australia, and we met in a place called Hervey. Well, the town is called Hervey Bay, near a place called Fraser Island, which is actually where we met. And we went through all different names, what we should call the dog, and I think my girlfriend came up with the name Hervey. And as soon as she said it, I was like, yeah, that's a really good dog name. I don't know why. Definitely. It's just one of those names. It's not like I normally think it's kind of dumb when you call and sorry if this is alienating some people. I think it's kind of dumb when you name like a dog or a cat like a human, like Jeff or something, or Dave.
Yeah. I understand that.
I'm just like, and Hervey is a name, but I feel like it's more unusual name. So you're like, oh, okay, it's not like, yeah.
I understand. When like parents get their kids a pet and they're like, oh, this is Tom the cat or something. Like, I get that, but like, it's a waste. I mean, I got a cat called Eowyn and a dog called Zephyr.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm sure that when I have children, they will also have wacky names.
So we got him. He's a whippet, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned. I can't remember if I mentioned it before. He's a whippet. Yeah. And we got him when he was 9 weeks old, and that was back in middle of March. And like he was a bit of a nightmare, as most puppies are. And like it's weird. It's like me and Tilly, we kind of just sort of occasionally we'll just look at each other and go like, he's been really good today. He's been really good this last week. Or he'll just like, thing is right. He's not like Harry's dog, who's like a working dog. Like our dog, he's lazy as fuck. He is a lazy dog. He gets an hour walk during the day, and that basically wipes him out for like until the next day. Pretty much, it wipes him out.
Yeah.
He lives on the sofa essentially. Yeah, that is literally his life. He gets up to get fed, and I'll have a game of tug of war with him. But the thing that I really love about him is that although he's lazy, if I go out for a walk with him, I go out, on the weekends. I go out with him at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, and I drive out of town a little bit. I go to some woods or fields or whatever. And although like he's a really skinny like dog and stuff. He loves getting like sort of like going out on long walks and getting muddy and stuff. Which is really really unwhippet like Tilly used to have a whippet when she was younger, and she said to me the other day, she was like, he is not like my old dog at all. Like he's a lot more like outdoorsy and a lot more like he loves other dogs and he just loves doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man, but, proper dog. Yeah.
Yeah. He's good. He's 10 months old at the moment. He's still got he still has his moments where he is a little bit of a dickhead, but.
So I'm looking forward to. I think we said we're going to see Chili Peppers next year, which is something we're going to get to again in a few minutes, I imagine. But we're going to see Chili Peppers, and I think we've planned for like for us to come stay at yours.
Yeah.
And obviously we're going to be bringing Zephyr with us, and I think Fiona and Tilly, your partner, they're not coming to Chili Peas, so I think they're just going to have like quality dog bonding time or something, and like we're looking forward to just our dogs have only met the once before, but it was like a really cool interaction. Just looking forward to more of that.
So what Hervey does when he meets a new dog, and Zeph was pretty patient with it, he's getting better with it as he gets older, but Hervey will kind of just piss the other dog off until the other dog plays with him. And the thing with Hervey is that because he's a whippet, he knows that he's faster than most dogs, you know.
Yeah.
So he winds dogs up, like as in like goes to play with them and stuff, and they're like, "Fine, I'll play chase with you," and he's off. he's off. Yeah. And he's just like, he's a funny dog. But him and Zeph got on quite well, and Steph's a very patient dog, so put up with it.
Yeah. I think sort of the great thing about Zeph, but also his like downfall, is that like he will do anything for a ball, and as soon as he gets a hint of a ball, he then does not give a shit about. Excuse me. He does not care about anyone else, any other dog, anything. So we were trying to get Zeph to play with Hervey, but Zeph was just like, "You've got a ball in your hand, give it to me."
Yeah.
And Hervey was like, "Play with me," you know. And it was just Zeph was just sort of like, leave me alone.
Eventually, they did. They
did.
I remember because they were. So what happened was they were charging around the kitchen. Hervey like ran into Zeph's like water bowl, water everywhere. I was obviously like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I think we grabbed them both and chucked them outside, and they spent 20 minutes just like doing laps of the garden.
yeah.
And then for the rest of the evening, Hervey was just dead basically.
Yeah. Other than Hervey, then, man, and renovations on your house, anything else big for you this year?
I think we managed to go on holiday a few months ago, which I wouldn't normally mention, but I think with COVID and stuff, I think we're quite fortunate actually that we were able to get away somewhere abroad. That is.
Yeah.
Like I say, normally I wouldn't mention it because it's like, well, so what? You got on a flight and and went abroad for a week, but we felt pretty fortunate to be able to do that.
I think we're planning on it next year because we haven't been away for a few years.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's stuff going on at the moment. I don't want to talk about the news because obviously it's all a bit depressing, but I just hope that next year we can go away as well. Hopefully. Yeah.
Defo. All right then, man. Well, the next little section and the last little section of this nearly 2-hour podcast is basically just a look forward. So we've done the looking back on 2021. We're looking forward to 2022, and if there's anything that basically that we're looking forward to, and I know we've said, and I said a minute ago, the Chili Peppers tour and the new album is something that we're definitely looking forward to.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I think...
there's loads of... Sorry, man, what were you going to say?
No, go ahead. I wasn't going to say anything.
I was just saying, like, in planning this, I couldn't... I was struggling to think of stuff that was coming out. So I just basically wrote down all of the Marvel stuff that's coming out this year. Next year. And there's a lot of it with these Marvel shows as well. It's good times if you're a Marvel fan. There's like 4 films and about 5 TV shows coming out next year.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's one of my complaints about Marvel on the whole, is that it's kind of too much. And there was a bit of a lull, and now it seems to be coming back.
It just never ends, does it?
Yeah.
It never ends. I wonder if they are... Well, no, they're not going to. I was going to say, I wonder if they are planning an ending for it all, but why would they do that?
No, they'll just end it and reboot things, and it'll just be like that, won't it?
Yeah. Some good-looking films. We've already spoke about John Wick 4 the other week.
Yeah.
Top Gun Maverick and Mission Impossible 7. All films that I'm looking forward to next year.
Looking forward more.
You did a bit of a weird head shake then.
I'm looking forward more to the. I'm looking forward more to the John Wick and the Top Gun movies. Mission Impossible. I don't know. Like, they're okay. They're okay.
No, they're. What do you mean they're okay? They're great films, man. They're great films.
I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I was hyped for it, but.
No, man. So Mission Impossible is a series where it's literally getting better and better and better.
Mm.
Well, what was the last one that you've seen?
Probably 4, probably 4. I think I've seen. It's like Fast and Furious. Like, I think I've seen like 4 of them, I'd say.
Yeah, well, I think what you should do then is, before this next one comes out, you should watch through them, because especially like the last 2, really, really good. Just great. Like, it's like the fast films, like fantastic action, but the selling point of Mission Impossible is that it's real action. Like, Tom Cruise does those stunts.
Yeah.
There's scenes like where Tom Cruise will climb from the bottom of a helicopter, like up to the cockpit, and then do like a downward spiral. But it's all real, and it's filmed in like IMAX 4K cameras and things, and it genuinely is like, whoa. Tom Cruise is... there was actually news this week, which I'm going to talk about on the Harry's Half Hour, but Tom Cruise has been caught hanging off the wing of a biplane somewhere over like Hereford or somewhere, filming scenes for Mission Impossible 8, because they're doing them back to back. But yeah, like, he is a true, hard-working actor, and he will hang off the wing of a plane,
Yeah.
But other than those films then, is there anything that you're looking forward to next? Any games coming out or anything like that?
Games? Oh, I guess like Elden Ring is coming out start of next year, isn't it? That's something that I think...
Elden Ring,
yeah, that's coming out start of next year. That's
really... that doesn't interest me at all.
It doesn't interest me, but... Some people might.
It's like a Souls-like game.
Yeah, but some people might be hyped for it.
Oh, I'm talking about you. Is there anything
right.
that you personally?
No, not so much really. Not for next year. I think I've got such a big back catalogue to get through, to be fair.
Yeah.
On my games before
I wonder when this new sort of Assassin's Creed Infinite or Infinity or whatever, when they're planning on sort of dropping that, or information on that, because I don't really know what it is. I know that they're changing up Assassin's Creed for the future, so
they'll probably it would be more like E3 and stuff, wouldn't there? And then they'll release it like November. When do they normally release? November's time, isn't it? When they normally release?
Yeah, but I think this one's... They've said that like after this one, there's not going to be any more out, because this is going to be like an updated service or something. I don't know. I'm not tech savvy. I don't really know what any of this stuff
I'll tell you one thing that I hope we do get some information about is when the hell Rockstar are going to do another Grand Theft Auto game.
Yeah.
Because
it's
been far too long, and you'd think that they would at least maybe tease something, go like, oh, we are actually making another one, or something like that. Like,
so Rockstar are in the shit a little bit at the moment, aren't they? Because of the release of the definitive trilogy or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Not being very good apparently, but yeah, no. GTA 6. Obviously, we buy them all. I'll play it. I love the story of GTA's.
Yeah.
Hopefully, it goes back to. I was a big fan of GTA 4. I know a lot of people weren't, but I liked the gritty groundedness of it.
Yeah.
And I hope that they sort of go for that again, rather than like an over-the-top flying motorbikes type game.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know, man. There's probably loads of things coming out that I can't think of right now, but
It's fine.
those few films and like all of the Marvel stuff, you know, like, I am getting fatigued with the Marvel stuff, but I still like it. I'll still watch it. So all of that stuff I'm really looking forward to. If there is nothing else, I say we should probably wrap this bad boy up, man.
Yep. Nearly come up to 2 hours.
I know it's not quite been a whole year. We started the podcast in May, but this has been the first year of Dude Wut Podcast. I am very pleased with how it's gone. Hamby, honestly, man, you have filled in so many times and helped out so much. Genuinely couldn't have done it without you. Along with some of the other guests we've had as well, also couldn't have done it without them. But yeah, Hamby especially, man.
Thank you.
So
no,
really appreciate that.
No, I always love being on, and I think you'll probably. Well, I'm sure I'll be on it more. I'm sure I'll be more going into the new year.
Yeah, definitely. So. Yeah. This is the last Dude Wut podcast of the year. We're going to be back in the new year. Not quite sure when. Planning on sort of like second week in January, something like that. I don't know. We gotta sort of plan it a bit more. But we will be back. In the meantime, you've got a live stream coming out Friday. Oh, no, you got a Triple H. Harry's Half Hour is coming out Friday. It's the last one of the year. We've got another interview with 7:30. We're collecting questions from his fans and friends and family and whatnot. So if you want to get that in, you've got basically tomorrow is the last day that you can submit a question for us to ask 7:30. So send us an email, dudewutpodcast@gmail.com, @dudewutpodcast on Instagram, or speakpipe.com/dudewutpodcast to send a voice message. Now, I'll be honest, we actually haven't got a voice message yet, and I'm keep saying, like, 7:30, man, like, someone's going to ask you a question and we're going to play it and whatnot, so don't let me down, guys. Like, send a voice message and we'll ask him some questions. We've got a live stream. Hopefully it's the return of the Big Bad T-Lad coming on that Friday. If for whatever reason he can't, or, as well as, I'm sure I will be there, and maybe Hamby will be there as well. We don't know.
I'll let you know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know if Tomo has spoken to you, actually. He's found a new game to play, and it's supposed to be pretty good, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I'll speak to you about that elsewhere. Everybody, thank you for a fantastic first year of Dude Wut Podcast. We really appreciate it. There's nothing more I can say. Just take it easy. Have a fantastic Christmas. Give lots of presents, receive lots of presents. Just have a great time. Drink lots of beer, eat lots of cheese. My name has been Harry Dowling. As always, I've been your host. I'm joined with the one and only Mr. Callum Hamby. Hamby, got any last parting words of wisdom?
No, have a great Christmas and see you guys in the new year.
You heard him, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to finish it there. Thank you very much. Take it easy. Good night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode. You can visit our Instagram account at Dude Wut Podcast. That's DUDEWUT Podcast. And you can also email us at dudewutpodcast@gmail.com. That's DUDEWUT Podcast@gmail.com. See you next time. Dude, what?